I remember I was sitting right there. So the car that the homies were breaking into was a Honda Civic hatchback, right? And my homies had broke into it already. They're in the car, like stripping out the stereo, the amp, all that, the speakers, the whole nine. They popped the trunk. They got the passenger door open, the driver door open. They up in there, right? So I'm standing on the other side of the car, like checking out the scene, making sure there's no people around. And I remember looking left. I remember looking right. I remember looking at the house, and the window of the house. I remember when I first looked at it, it was just this is the middle of the night too, y'all. This is like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. So the house, the window, there was nothing in the window when I first looked at it, right? And I remember looking back and forth, looking around for people. It's cold. This is 2 in the morning. There's a lot, like my heart is pounding. There's a lot of adrenaline going through my body because my homies is doing what they're doing, right? And I remember looking back at the house, and in the window, I saw a big ass silhouette, right? A silhouette of somebody. And that shit was so big, right? That I initially thought, is that a Christmas tree? You know what I'm saying? In my head, right? I was looking at that shit. I said, I don't remember seeing that shadow in the window earlier. Am I tripping? And I remember looking at it like, is that a person? Or is that a Christmas tree? Because that motherfucker was so big. He probably standing like this or doing some shit, right? To where I was standing on the street and I was looking. I was like, is that a person or is that a Christmas tree? I couldn't tell. So I didn't want to tell my homies, hey, there's people, right? Because if I give them a false alarm, thank you, Active, for the roast. If I give them a false alarm while they're in the middle of handling the business, they be like, man, you scary ass little kid. You over here saying people, they don't even know people, right? So I had to be sure that was a person. So I'm looking, and finally, the silhouette in the window, it moved. I said, oh yeah, that's a person. So I told my homies, hey, people, let's go. And so once my homies hear people, they don't even gotta ask like, what is it or what's going on. They just hop out the car, grab as much stuff as they can, hop in the G-Ride, we gone, right? So the homies hopped in the G-Ride, we out. Well, we cruising. It's like, it is what it is. We broke into the car, we got as much as we can. People was there, so we just take off. We go to another car. So we take off. Whoop. And about like, not even that long after, about like, I said like 10 minutes later, right? Okay, so there's 4 of us in the car. There's my homeboy, Fong, he's driving. My black homie, Satan, he in the passenger seat. My homie Sam Sui's to the right of me, and I'm behind the driver, right? So we see a car in the distance that we look, like we feel like, hey, this car has potential, right? So we told my homie Satan, my black homie, he said, get out the car, go check that car out. So we in the middle of the street. Satan gets out the car to go check this car. He got a flashlight. He want to go look in the car to see if it has a system or whatever, right? And out of nowhere, this freaking car, I see a bright ass light behind us, and this fucking car just pulls up behind us, screeching to a halt. Right behind us, right? And then this big ass white boy hopped out the car, and he had a paint gun. He had a paint pew pew, right? And this fool starts spraying our car with his paint gun. You see like bright neon, green paint splashes appearing on the car. I was like, what the fuck? I'm in the car like, what the fuck, right? And then in one hand he had a paint gun, in the other hand he had a golf club. So he let off the whole paint gun. He light up the whole G-Ride with paintballs, right? So we in the car like, what the fuck is this fool doing? And then he had a golf club, and then he see my homeboy Satan outside the car, right? So he started running towards my homeboy Satan. So Satan started running around our car, right? So he got this golf club, he's trying to hit Satan, and he's smashing our car at the same time, and he's chasing my homeboy around the car, right? And my homeboy just running, and he's chasing, and we're in the car, like watching them go around the car, and we got paintballs all on our car, and we're just watching, like, what the fuck? So I reached over to the passenger seat, and I rolled the window all the way down, right? And I kept on, every time Satan was passing by the passenger window, we were yelling, jump through the window, and then he would run by. And the dude would chase him, he'd run by, and every time he run by, we'd be like, Satan, jump through the window! Satan, jump through the window! Right? And finally, Satan was in the front of the car, and the dude was in the back, right? And Satan's like doing like this with him, right? And Satan looks at us through the car, we're like, jump to the window, boom, right? So finally Satan makes a run for it, and he jumps to the passenger window, we take off, right? We take off. Boom. And I was like, damn, that shit was crazy, bro. That fool lit up the whole car. That fool he got a golf club. He almost got your ass, Satan, right? And everybody's just chilling. We laughing. We full of adrenaline. We pumped. We juiced. Like, damn, that was crazy, bro. So you guys gotta understand. We all teenagers. Every single one of us, right? The oldest one is probably like 16. The rest of us is like 14, 15. I'm like 11 at the time, right? Thank you, Maddie, for the rose. So we sitting there in the car, and we all like, just like, damn, that shit was crazy, bro. Woo, woo, woo. So then everybody calmed down, and we chilling. And I remember sitting in the back seat, I'm chilling, and I'm just looking around. And I don't know why, but something caught my eye, and I looked up. And in the driver's side window, I saw some fingers, like someone's fingers in the window, right? And I was like, what the fuck? And I looked to the passenger side window, and I saw some fingers on that side. So I look behind me. I'm in the back seat. I look behind me, and I see some freaking legs. I see some feet in the window, right? So I'm like, what the fuck? So I look. I told the homies, I said, hey, that motherfucker, because you see his hands and his feet back. I said, that motherfucker's on top of the car, bro. He's on top of the car. And my homies, they look. They said, oh shit, that fool really is on top of the car, right? So we had screwdrivers, like flathead screwdrivers, that we were using that to break into the cars, right? So my homie's driving. I reached over to the driver's side, and I'll start poking his finger with the screwdriver. Get your motherfucking ass on the car, right? So he would lift up his finger on the driver's side, but he would hold on to it on the passenger side. So I passed the screwdriver to my homie Say. My homie Say would poke his fingers on the passenger side, and this would lift up his fingers on the passenger side, but then he'll grab the driver's side back. So we were going back and forth with him, poking his fingers, right? And then we would trick him, because at first we were going driver's side, passenger side, driver's side. We were just going back and forth, and he would just go like this each time, right? So we switched it up on his ass. We went passenger side, passenger side. You know what I'm saying? Passenger side, driver, passenger, driver. Like, he was getting confused, right? So we just poking this shit. But he wasn't like coming off the top of the car. He was just hanging on, right? So we were like, man, what the fuck we gonna do? This motherfucker don't want to get off the car, right? So my homie was saying, he was like, man, don't even trip. I got this shit. Fuck this motherfucker. I'm gonna take care of it, right? So you guys gotta understand, back then, the stereos in cars were pull-out stereos. A lot of y'all are in the 30 and up club in my lives, right? So y'all know about pull-out stereos. The youngsters that don't know, a stereo is basically, a pull-out means you can take the whole stereo out of the deck. You know what I'm saying? And you can take it into your house with you, so no one can steal your stereo. That's old school pull-out stereo, right? So my homie said, he's like, don't even trip. I got this motherfucker, right? So he pulled out the whole stereo from the deck, right? And he rolled his window all the way down. And he told me, Tiny, grab my legs. Don't let me go. I'm gonna come out the window and I'm gonna beat this fool with the stereo until he gets off the car, right? And then, I'm like, all right. So, I reach over, I lean over, and I grab my homie's legs, right? And my homie had the stereo in his hand, and he came out the window, and he hung down out the window, like he hung down, and he tried to come from all the way from the bottom and try to bring his body up to freaking swing and smack this fool, right? So I'm sitting there watching. So my homie went down like this. He came up. I see his arm swing like this. I see his arm disappear like this. Come down on top of the roof of the car. And then I see my homie come back down. His arm come back down like this. And I see no stereo in his hand. And he's like kicking like, pull me in. So basically what happened was the dude took the stereo from him. When my homie tried to come up and hit him with the stereo, this big old corn-fed ass white boy, right? He took the stereo from my homie and he started swinging down, started hitting my homie, right? And my homie was like hanging out the car like, he's like, pull me in. So my other homie jumped over and helped me, and we pulled this fool in, right? And then after that, the fool was still on top of the car. So we're like, damn, man, what the fuck? We're like, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna get rid of this motherfucker? He done took our stereo. You know what I'm saying? This motherfucker corn-fed, big as hell, right? So we're sitting there like tripping, like, how are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? So we started like feeling around the car for stuff that we could find, and we were trying to throw it at him, trying to knock him upside the head with it, right? So we were trying to get to the trunk so we could get to the car jack, but we couldn't get to the trunk, right? So finally, one of the homies came up with a bright ass idea, right? One of the homies like, bro, he told my homeboy that I was driving. He told my homeboy, bro, just put the pedal to the metal, bro. Just smash, bro. Just hit that bitch, and then just pound on the brakes. You feel me? Make that motherfucker fly off, right? And so my homeboy, we in a residential. You guys gotta understand, we in a residential neighborhood, right? And my homeboy, he driving stick. He's like, all right, I'm gonna do that shit. We're like, do that shit. So he's driving, because the residential is a lot of curves, right? So he's waiting to find a straight street. You feel me? And my homie finally found a straight street. He started burning rubber. And I'm in the car like, ooh, like I'm scared because we go so fast to this residential. I'm scared that the homie's gonna end up crashing or a car's gonna come out of nowhere, right? So my homie smashed. He going stupid fast in the residential. And I put pound on the brakes. I look back. That fool flew off the top of the car. Boom! And I looked down, and we were all sitting in the car. This is like 2, 3 in the morning. We came to a screeching halt. There was smoke from the tires and everything, right? And we all looked back. And this fool flew off the car and he started tumbling down the street. And he finally came to a stop. Boom! And we were all just watching him like, damn. You think that fool dead? I was like, damn, that fool got fucked up, right? And all of a sudden, his body was laying on the ground like this. All of a sudden, you see him move, right? That fool started moving. That fool got up. And we're like, damn, but he's hella far though. We're like, damn, look at that fool, he got up. And he looked at us, and then he started running towards us, all fucked up, like limping, running towards us, right? I told my homeboy, I said, go. And my homeboy smashed out.